Thank you very much for joining me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. As we go over the next couple days, watching a couple tropical waves and an overall pattern change. So I want to get into a few locations to watch and then kind of long term what we're looking at, including the Icon German model, which with the American model is showing a spin up, and that means some development. We'll get into all of that, but you can see some of the rain that's been near Belize. We've had rain near St Lucia, some scattered showers and storms approaching Jamaica, some in northern Colombia. So again, a lot of areas of rain. We have a tropical wave that's sliding by, another one that's about to move in, but you see this moisture here across the southeastern Caribbean. So we've got these areas of rain. Now short term, not seeing any development out of this, but we're going to just see that pattern over the next 7 to 10 days just increase in moisture, and then eventually we're going to start to get some development out of that. Let me zoom down here. Here's Dominica, Martinique, St Lucia. St Lucia, we've had the rain and storms around, not just this morning, but overnight in spots. St Vincent the Grenadines right through Grenada, watching some pockets of heavier rain. We had some rain yesterday and parts of last night in Trinidad and Tobago, still active, and same thing as we work our way toward Barbados. So watching an area that's not developing, but the southeastern Caribbean, we are dealing with some of the scattered rain and storms this morning and today. Here's another tropical wave. Now I don't expect this to develop in the short term, but it is going to increase the moisture as it works into the Caribbean as we go throughout the week, and then even into the Gulf of Mexico by the time we get into next weekend. So that's one spot to watch, and of course watching over here off the coast of Africa, but no signs of development. As I've been mentioning, there's been a lot of dry air out here, but these tropical waves are pumping off the coast of Africa, and kind of a long way to go. Each hurricane season, which goes from June 1st to November 30th, there are about 55 to 65 tropical waves that come off the coast of Africa. They actually start before the season begins in about early to mid-May. So 55 to 65 of these tropical waves, they're not water waves, they're disturbances in the atmosphere, some rain and storms, and we're in the 40s now, so we've got a long way to go. Let's just hope that they don't develop too much as we go forward, but we know things are going to increase. So let me show you the Icon German model. This is a model that did a really good job on forecasting and handling Hurricane Beryl a little while ago. Now, what it's showing here is here we are in the Caribbean, some of that rain that's been working in. It's going to show a buildup of moisture. So here's Cuba over toward Jamaica. You get over toward the Bahamas. Here's Florida. You get back toward the Yucatan Peninsula right here. So just going out in time here, this is by the time we get into the middle of the week. So this is by Wednesday. No crazy signs of development. That is good. But it is showing stronger tropical waves that are now surviving. They've been getting eaten up by the dry air, but it's showing these waves surviving. And then look at all this green that would be rain, especially back into the Gulf of Mexico. Lots of rain starting to build in some locations, and when you see that sitting over the warm water, I'll get into those water temps in a second, that's where we could see things spinning up. Now let's go on time further. I'm going to jump ahead here. This is about a week from now as we get into the upcoming weekend, and it is now showing some signs of development in the Gulf of Mexico, and the American model has been back and forth on some development too. So you can see the potential of a spin up just because there's so much moisture building in the Gulf. Where would that go? Not sure. Just kind of a spot to watch. And then you see a lot more green out here, kind of fighting through the dry air now. So then we'll be watching these tropical waves, not developing, but moving into the Caribbean, and then we could eventually get some development out of those. Let me show you the American model first, and then we'll get into kind of that atmospheric setup. Short term, of course, watching the rain and storms. I'll zoom down in a moment. We have an old front here close to Bermuda, just off toward the west, stretching down toward the northern Bahamas. Those fronts just kind of leaving some extra moisture, and then we have a tropical wave that's moving through as we go throughout the week. As we get back toward parts of Haiti, Jamaica, Cayman Islands, we could see the rain chance increasing. This is that tropical wave that's about to move in, and you see some of the extra rain here. Now, once we get into Tuesday around Jamaica, I'm not expecting it to develop. That's good news, but eventually this moisture is just going to kind of lift to the north, and then you see these tropical waves over here, still not developing, but a little bit stronger. So this is Tuesday of the upcoming week, and then let's kind of swing out in time further just to give you kind of a feel of what I'm watching and where to watch next as we get deeper into the hurricane season. This is by the time we get into that upcoming weekend, and you can see here the American model now is saying, hey, yeah, there's going to be a lot of moisture somewhere. Right now it has it just off the coast of the southeast U.S. and over toward the northern Bahamas. The Icon model had it over here, but this just gives me a feel that this is definitely a spot to watch for development later in the upcoming week and by the weekend. And then these tropical waves coming off look like they will be surviving a little bit better, which is not good because they could eventually develop. And then kind of painting the picture here, this is by next Tuesday, so not this upcoming Tuesday. So we're talking about 7 to 10 days from now. About 10 days from now, you see all the rain building here, a lot more green on the map. What I was talking about with the icon model, what I was showing you yesterday with the European model, look at the extra areas of rain that I'm watching, and this is the pattern change as we work our way into early September. Still not showing anything developing to a hurricane quite yet, but a lot more moisture, so that dry air that's been helping us out may not be able to help us out too much longer as these tropical waves come off. And we'll just track it storm by storm. We know September, as we get deeper into September, is going to get more and more active. We know there's going to be tropical storms and hurricanes. We'll just track it storm by storm. And that buildup of moisture is a concern because, of course, we know those water temperatures so very warm. Many spots about 31 degrees Celsius, 88 degrees Fahrenheit, warmer in other spots. There's a lot of fuel out there down below, but it's what's going on above right now that's been a good thing. That's been the dry air, the sinking air, the stable air. We like that, but these water temperatures are very warm, and it looks like we're going to start to see more and more moisture building as we go throughout the month of September, as I was just showing you with both of those computer models, just kind of getting a good handle on the environment. So as we get throughout September, I expect more action. And you can see things here. This is kind of the picture that's I shrunk it down a little bit just to be a little more specific. We're going to see those scattered showers and storms today anywhere from Guadeloupe, Dominica, St Lucia, Barbados, Trinidad. And then you see here, this is the upcoming week. This is that spot I mentioned that I don't expect it to develop in the short term, but it is really going to increase some of that rain as we get toward the Gulf of Mexico later in the upcoming week. But you see here by Tuesday, some extra rain near Jacmel swinging back toward Montego Bay. That'll be possible. You see as this tropical wave moves across, not developing, but even more rain as we get over toward Cuba and the Cayman Islands by the time we get into Wednesday. But this is a little problematic because, one, we could get some stronger storms in some areas of isolated areas of flooding, but then this moisture just kind of swings to the north where there is that chance of some development in the Gulf of Mexico later in the week. And then we'll be watching off the coast of Africa. So August, September, and October, that's the heart of the hurricane season. 84% of all named systems happen in just these 3 months. Now, the good news is we are deep now into August, so we're chipping away at that. But as we get into the next 2 months, usually about a 65 to 70% of all named storms happen. So we know we've got a long way to go. That hurricane season really in front of us, and I'll be watching everything as I am. You get over toward the eastern Pacific side. Here's Gilma. Here's another developing area. Lots of rain and storms have been around Honduras, Belize, Guatemala, El Salvador, parts of southeastern Mexico. No signs of development close to home. This is Honi as you get over toward Hawaii. Tropical storm warnings are up, getting brushed by those tropical storm conditions in the big island of Hawaii. It may temporarily become a hurricane, but either way, that's going to continue to kick away. And these things, here's Mexico, not rolling into Mexico. They've all been working away. You can see this system here trying to move away from Hawaii. And then there's Gilma. And as Gilma tries to kind of hold its own, it will continue to, it will eventually weaken as it moves off toward the west. Here's Hawaii again. You see everything just taking that pattern. And then by the middle of the week, both these areas should show some signs of weakening. Short term, watching. Now, here's the thing with the seas, as we're thinking of our mariners, our captains out there. And thank you for all the information you've been feeding me back in the comments. Seas are not too bad. The issue will be the thunderstorm. Seas about a meter, meter and a half, 3 to about 5 feet. That's great across the Caribbean, Gulf of Mexico. There's really no green popping up. This is by the time we get into Wednesday. Things are going to build a little bit as things start to build out there in the Atlantic. But the issue will be those thunderstorms that I don't want anyone caught in those areas of rain and storms where temporarily the seas will kick up watching the thunder and lightning, or at least hearing the thunder, that sort of thing. Please be mindful of those thunderstorms. Now, just you can see here, just dotting the map with a few thunderstorms as we go over the next couple of days, but those could be strong. 50 millimeters of rain or 2 inches of rain if you get stuck in a thunderstorm. Cuba, Jamaica, Cayman Islands, Haiti, Turks and Caicos, Dominican Republic, a few isolated storms, and then not quite as much Anguilla, but we have a better chance as we swing to the south. Guadeloupe, Dominica, we have a couple of rain and storms around this morning, right? And then another tropical wave that's going to be sliding in. So we could see some pockets of heavier totals. Let me know how we're doing with the flooding. I'll be watching those comments. Put your location in those comments as we build this weather community. It's good to get a good handle on what's going on. Northeastern Venezuela, some rain and storms. Guyana, we could get a couple, but starting to drop off as we get towards Suriname. Now here, Costa Rica and Panama, some spots have just been getting a lot of rain, others not so much. So let me know how you're doing. Then we lift to the north, some areas of rain, storms, and that flood potential. Watching those river crossings. It's not been widespread rain, but we've had heavier areas of rain and storms in parts of Belize, for example, and parts of Guatemala, and that runoff could lead to that rise in some of the rivers, even some scattered showers and storms through the Yucatan of Mexico City will have some rain and storms around. So unsettled weather. Jamaica, about a 40 to 50% chance of rain and storms today, but it is going to pick up by the time we get into the middle of the week with that next tropical wave moving in Tuesday into Wednesday. So watching out for those rain and storms building. We work our way through the Cayman Islands, about a 40% chance of rain today. Unsettled Trinidad and Tobago. We've had the scattered showers and storms around. Some of us will get it, some of us won't. And then as we swing back through Barbados, there's been some rain around already today that's been close by. In St Lucia, we've already had some rain around from overnight and this morning, and some additional rain will be possible. It could get upwards of 25 to 50 millimeters or an additional 1 to 2 inches of rain. And the same thing for Grenada, watching out for some of the rain and storms around, and the same thing for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, that moisture just kind of pumping in. So a busier start. Martinique, 40 to 50% chance, a 40 to 50% chance the next 2 days in Dominica, and about an even 40% chance across Guadeloupe over the next 3 days. Antigua and Barbuda, that rain chance will build some. We have that other tropical wave that will move in. That's going to help enhance the chance of rain. By the time we get into Tuesday, we'll be watching that for St. Kitts and Nevis and Montserrat. And you see on Tuesday, Anguilla and St. Bart's, not a washout, but the rain chance will bump up to a 40% chance. And you see the rain chance 20 to 30%, St. Martin, Saba, and Statia, and about a 40 to 50% chance in Puerto Rico. Watching out for some afternoon and evening thunderstorms. A 20% chance the next couple days, but it will increase Tuesday into Wednesday, U.S. and British Virgin Islands. The Bahamas, we've had those scattered showers and storms around. That pattern is going to continue. Thank you for leaving those comments. Turks and Caicos, about a 30 to 40% chance. Isolated storms as we get back toward the Dominican Republic. Isolated showers and storms in Haiti. By the middle of the week, though, the rain chance could bump up southern end of Haiti. Belize, we've had some of the rain and storms. I've been watching Hopkins, Belize City, Ladyville, name your spot. Watching out for some scattered areas of rain and storms. Let me know in the comments if you've been getting some. Now, with this moisture in the southeastern Caribbean, it may clip us by Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire. We have a slightly better chance of getting a couple showers. We could get even 1 or 2 tonight, and then tomorrow night, a slightly better chance. Guyana, rain chance about 30 to 40%. We get over towards Suriname, though, we've mainly been dry with all the action lifting up to the north. Cuba, watching out for some of those scattered areas of rain and storms. And I mentioned Costa Rica and Panama earlier. Some areas of flooding, even some mudslides, will be a potential. Nicaragua, elevated chance, 50 to 60% chance. And unsettled right through Honduras, a 50% chance over the next 3 days, including Roatan, Guatemala, and El Salvador. A rain chance on the higher side. I mentioned those river crossings, 40 to 50% chance across Mexico City. Looking at a 40% chance of scattered showers and storms. The Yucatan of Mexico, northern Colombia, 40% chance. But this morning, northwestern sections, we've seen a lot of rain. Watching at about a 30 to 40% chance. Northern Venezuela and Bermuda, generally on the dry side with that front that right now is sitting just off toward the west. So areas of rain and storms already around for many of us today. Watching out for those isolated areas of flooding. Rain chance will increase this week. I showed you that area, that next tropical wave that'll move toward parts of Cuba, Haiti, Jamaica, and the Cayman Islands, and I'll be watching out for any signs of development as that moisture builds in the Western Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico. And overall, a wetter pattern ahead, not as dry in the Atlantic, which means the better chance, higher chance of some development. So a few areas to watch, watching these tropical waves. Keep me posted. I hope you're doing well and have a good rest of your day.